Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here, coming back for part 3 of the Supernatural Season 8 review. So, I'm gonna continue where I left off on the last video. So, for episode 14 is Trial and Error. This was where they had to go to, I think, Colorado or something, because they found out the first trial of closing the gates of hell. Kevin did. And one of them it says you have to bathe in a hellhound's blood or whatever. So pretty much you have to kill a hellhound but bathe in its blood, and then you can complete the trial with using these words or whatever that are written down that Kevin translated. And it pretty much, there's people that sold their souls to Crowley, and they're screwed, sadly. So they're on a farm with these people or whatever. I guess famous people, I'm not sure, but Ellie is one of the chicks that would have died but didn't. She was saved by Dean or whatever. So Dean was the one that was supposed to do it, but Sam ended up succeeding, and that's how the trial ended, pretty much. So pretty much Sam bathed in a hellhound or whatever, and completed the trial. And his arms were glowing and everything, and he was saying he was okay, but it's slowly killing him. So yeah, episode 14's getting a 5 out of 5. Episode 15, Man's Best Friends with Benefits. This one was okay. This was about this guy or whatever who is a detective, but he like sees things or something. He's like a warlock or something. But this episode was not too bad. And this chick who's like a familiar, that's James's familiar or whatever, because he's a mage or something, is Portia. And this guy Philippe and whoever else was the one screwing him over, Sal, I think. This one was about witches and mages and warlocks and all that. Just kind of the supernatural world for Sam and Dean to get into, and they helped James out a while back, Sam and Dean, but James didn't want their help, and Portia came to them, and yeah, Portia said to Dean, "You don't like dogs, do you?" I give this one a 4 out of 5. This one was not too bad, but I think it's decent. It's not my favorite episode on this season, but it's okay. Episode 16, Remember the Titans. This was with Prometheus and how he had to live every day dying a lot. And Sam and Dean actually help him out and figure out who he was. Just trying to help him figure out who he is, which he couldn't remember because he died every day. And so this his guy's name was Shane, I think. And Sam and Dean were there to help him out, and his wife and his kid or whatever came to find him and all that because they looked on a newspaper that he was dead, but he's not. He miraculously came back to life. So this was the Greek god Zeus that did that. And Artemis was, I guess, Prometheus's lover or something. Or once lover, I'm not sure. But Zeus wanted to torture Prometheus for stealing the fire for people. For humanity to have or whatever. which he wasn't at fault to do that, but Zeus punished him for the wrong reasons. And so Zeus got killed, and they had to trap Zeus or whatever. Sam, Dean, Shane, Shane's wife, and his son or whatever. And his son was experiencing the dying every day too as well. So that's why his wife came to find Shane, because he was experiencing the same thing that he was. And unfortunately, Prometheus, who is Shane or whatever, got killed and took Zeus with him to his death. And Zeus died, and Artemis was unfortunately the only one to make it out of that. And Sam, Dean, Shane's wife, and the kid survived as well. So, not a bad episode to end it at. So, 4.5 out of 5. Episode 17, Goodbye Stranger. Now, this was where Cass comes back, but is so-called in heaven, I think. I'm not sure. And was training to kill Dean or whatever it showed in the beginning. And Naomi's like, you're ready. And then it showed Dean and Sam trying to find the tablet or whatever. And that's where they found this thing about a demon being possessed and going through crypts or whatever to find this demon tablet or something, or the angel tablet, I'm not sure. And Meg, they actually do find Meg because Crowley kidnapped her right after the Leviathan thing. And Castiel, Sam and Dean stumble upon after they kill a demon. And Castiel's like, we have no time, we gotta find the crypts and all that. So I guess Castiel's helping the Winchesters at the time being. And Meg follows them as well, because they find her. And yeah, I guess Meg and Castiel have this weird relationship or whatever, which is really weird. And yeah, Sam and I guess Castiel and Dean and Sam and Meg actually find where this angel tablet is, and Sam wanted to come with them, and Dean's like, no, you shouldn't, and he's like, I can help, and Cass is like, no, you're not doing okay. He's like, it's slowly killing you, the trials. And he's like, you're beyond healing of my... He's like, you're beyond healing in my experience or whatever. So Castiel can't heal him, so Sam's on the verge of death for this. And Castiel actually beat up Dean to get the tablet because he wanted to bring it back to Naomi and bring it to heaven. And he's like, it's okay, we can deal with it here. So Kevin can translate it to open the gates of hell, but Cass just beat him up, and then he healed him after that. Oh, I'm sorry. After Naomi was in his head or whatever, he found a way to break the spell or something. And Cass was like, I need to keep this away from the angels and you. And that's where Cass ran off. And that's pretty much the end of the episode. Meg unfortunately got killed by Crowley after she stabbed him a little bit. So yeah, episode 17 is getting a 4.5 out of 5. Episode 18, Freaks and Geeks. This was where Chrissy or whatever comes in this one, and they're hunting down vampires that killed their family or something. And this guy, what's his name, that was recruiting them, can't remember his name or whatever, but Sam and Dean knew about him from this Rougarou thing or something that him and their father worked a case on a while ago. And yeah, damn it, I can't remember his name, but he was working with the vampire that killed their families, Chrissy and all that. Which Chrissy was eventually going to give up the life on hunting, but unfortunately her dad got killed by a vampire that this guy was working with that recruited Chrissy and the others. So, they killed the vampire off, and the guy that was helping him was kind of afraid because he thought he was going to die by Chrissy's hands, but no. He was just alone. He was just afraid to be alone, and then he killed himself. So that's pretty much the end of that. I'm giving that episode a 4.5 out of 5. Episode 19, Taxi Driver. This was where Sam does the second trial where he has to rescue an innocent from hell, which is Bobby. So Sam goes to this guy, Raji or something, who's a reaper, that takes him through a shortcut to get to hell, which is purgatory. And then he says you have 24 hours to do that, and then return the soul to heaven, pretty much. So he picks him up in 24 hours. So Sam's going through hell, or the back door to hell, just to find the innocent, and he goes to find Bobby, and Bobby follows him and like, oh, you're like the 10th million Sam I've seen all day. And so Sam kind of rescues him, and then the Raji guy gets killed by Crowley because he helped the Winchesters. So yeah, let's see. Sam does eventually make it back, but he has to go through purgatory to get back and all that. And Benny actually helps him out. Dean calls in a favor because he's worried about where his brother is, and Benny gets sent back to purgatory to help Sam. And then he said, Benny's like, go on. He's like, go on, just go back home and tell Dean I said goodbye. I know he's not gonna like that, so yeah. Sam said Benny was trying to come back, but he didn't want to. So yeah. And then they try to finish the trial, the second trial, and then they do, and Sam's just in pain and all that. And he pretty much finishes the trial, but Crowley comes in to try to stop him at first, and it shows this black thing around Bobby's soul that's trying to go to heaven. And then Naomi interferes, and Crowley's like, oh, you little hag, and all that. And it's like, you're benching behind your weight class, bureaucrat, or something. And she's like, don't call me a bureaucrat. And then he runs away. That was funny. And she's like, I told you I could be of some help. And yeah, Naomi was telling Dean about that Sam has to go through purgatory in order to get through hell and then come back the same way. So yeah, this episode's getting a 4.5 out of 5. And that is going to be it for part 3 for now. I will be coming back at you for the last 4 episodes. So I don't have to do much videos on this, so thank God. So comment below and let me know your thoughts on these episodes I just explained, and I'll see you in the next video.